Hello, everyone. It's a wider world, and I'm your host, Elizabeth Kelly. We've got three great stories for you today, and I can't wait for you to see what's going on in our world. Our first segment takes us to Otter Lake, Michigan, with our guest reporter, Ray Brown. Ray takes us to a community that was designed for people with disabilities. You're going to be amazed at the thought and care that was put into these accessible homes.
Ray Brown here, and we're going to be exploring Evergreen Grove today, set in mid-Michigan on this beautiful fall day. Folks, get ready for some of the most accessible living you have ever seen. Where did the name Evergreen Grove come from?
Well, when I bought this property, there was no pine trees on it except for some couple big huge ones. And I was looking for a name, and we come up with Evergreen Grove. But of course, after I gave it the name, I had to move in 200 pine trees, 200 blue spruce trees, which make up part of the beauty here. We've got a beautiful grounds. First of all, we've got a community campfire pit, which is very nice. And we have horse stables right down the road, which people can go there and pet the horses, groom them, and even ride them. And we have barrier-free boating, which is a nonprofit organization right here in Otter Lake that provides a pontoon boat for people with disabilities to be able to use. It doesn't take, I have people that move here from the cities thinking that this is too country for them, that are still with us, that's never moved out, and that's the best testimonial you can get.
Now, the driving force behind this had to be for some reason. That's what I really want to find out. What drove you to do this?
Well, I had a best friend from school, like most people do, and he come down with MS, and it didn't take him very long, and he was in a wheelchair, and he got to where he got weaker and weaker, and he didn't have any insurance, nothing to really take care of him, so he ended up in the state's hands, and they placed him in some housing projects that were very, well, let's just say that they weren't sufficient. And so as soon as I seen that, I scooped him up basically and brought him to my house. He lived in my house for a year, better than a year. And then this property come up for sale. I purchased it. I remodeled one of the small houses on it for him. And then it didn't take long, and he was not able to live in that house any longer. So we went ahead and built our first duplex, which was completely barrier-free with big roll-in showers and everything, and that's where he lived until he passed. And that was the driving force behind Evergreen. And ever since then, we've been dealing with people with disabilities, and every time a new person comes in, we find that he needs something a little bit different. So we've been constantly making changes throughout people coming in here. And now we have a total of 14 units here, and we can accommodate. But we're different than most. We're actually set up for the entire family to move here if the injured individual has a family. And we've got all the way up to 4-bedroom units, down to 2. We don't go down to any single bedrooms. So we can take some pretty good sized families here, and it can be either short term or long term. But we take everybody that we can.
So you have housing large enough for families?
Entire families, yes.
Or single living?
Or single living.
And inside those houses, what makes those accessible?
Well, to start with, right on the outside of the building, our front doors open wide enough to where an actual bed can be pushed right out through the front door. And our doors on all of our bedrooms are double doors, so they open 5 foot wide in the minimum. We have some that open up as big as 9 feet, but most of them are 5 feet. And that allows the bed here again to be pushed right clean through and right out. In case of a fire, they can exit the house in a hurry. The bedrooms have got lift systems on the ceilings, and most of our units have got generator backup. So within 4 seconds of the power being off, new power's on, and there's no problem with any life support systems. They not only do they have the larger front doors and the larger entry doors into the bedrooms, but the bathroom vanities are all roll under, and they're lower so that an individual in a chair or a power chair can roll up to it to do his own grooming in front of a mirror. A lot of these are in the bedroom areas instead of in the baths. The light switches are lower, the plugs are higher, of course, so that they can be reached easier. The electrical panels are lower so that people in a wheelchair can reach electrical panels. The thermostats are lower. The thresholds under the doors are within the guidelines for wheelchairs. And we have got large back porches on every unit so that you can sit out under a roof. And outside storage units, boy, there's just so much. The sidewalks going around the entire property that connect every back door so that they can visit between them. We've got an outside fire pit, which in the evenings there's wood piled out there all the time that they can use to have an outside bonfire and enjoy that. We have grillings all year long. We provide hot dogs, hamburgers, and actually invite every resident to take part in it, and that goes over real well. We have a very good community of feeling of community here. We have very few people here that just stick to their own. Most everybody joins in.
Now, people have come here, obviously have lived in other dwellings in the past that were supposedly set up to take care of their needs. And when they came here and saw a different way of living, what was their response?
Unbelief, for one thing. They couldn't believe that there was something this nice that they could have been living in all along. A lot of people come from very substandard housing projects, group homes, foster care homes, and even convalescent homes that are very young. When you take a 21-year-old person and put them in a convalescent home where there's nothing in there basically but old people, and let them think that that's where they're going to spend the rest of their life. Because a lot of times when people get into a facility, it's very hard to get them out. Very hard to get them out, even if they want to go. So and it's very hard to get in touch with these people. It's very hard to let them know about us. And once that happens, once they see us on TV, once they hear about us on the radio, or their folks see us on a billboard, they contact us and want to know if there's any openings at all, and then from that point they start moving forward. But a lot of times people just don't know where to go. They don't know what their rights are, and they don't know where to go.
You've got an interesting gentleman here by the name of Brad.
Right.
Yeah, kid, without getting too into Brad's life, can you tell us about this disabled young man?
Yeah, Brad come to us about 5 years ago, and come from Craig Hospital out in Colorado. And he was very active in bareback riding and bull riding, and he also was a boxer, and very active individual. And he come to me with this idea. He wanted a gym to work out in because he was used to working out. Now keep in mind, Brad's paralyzed from the neck down. He has very little use of one hand at the time when he came to us. And so we put together a small gym for him in one of our garages that we had here. And we're real proud of how far he's advanced, and show you how far a guy can come.
Do you have any success stories, people that have made leaps and bounds from their disabilities that have improved just by living here?
Well, I'm not going to say it's because they lived here, but everything is a blessing. It's very touching when you see somebody go from the lowest point in their life to be able to, well, for instance, we had a young man here that was 20 years old, right out of high school, automobile injury, and he came to us and he was paralyzed from the waist down, and just watching him progress right into being able to drive again was, and seeing how it moved him, it was very satisfying.
We had a great day and learned a lot here at Evergreen Grove. And we really want to thank Al Sorge and his family for hosting us today in some of the most accessible living conditions you would ever want to see.
Wow, that was amazing. If you'd like more information, please visit evergreengrovellc.com for more information.